Thank you for staying with us. Our next conversation is on Nigeria's democracy and separation of powers. In the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, it is legally recognized that we have three arms of government, the judiciary, the executive, and the legislative arm. But in this part of the world, it's looking like one arm of government is always superior to the other, and sometimes the executive arm, we have seen it play out a couple of times, trying to muscle the legislative arm to do the bidding of the executive. And of course, that of the judiciary is also there. What does this imply for the growth of our democracy as we approach another round of election in the country? We'll be having this conversation with Barrister Kehinde Abudu. He's also a public affairs analyst. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's my pleasure. Good morning.
All right. So looking at Nigeria's democracy as we speak presently, how sane does it look when you look at the relationship between these arms of government and the insinuation in some quarters that a particular arm is always acting superior to the others?
Well, talking about democracy, there's no way democracy can strive properly without the principle of separation of powers. Before I look, delve into that, you look at the Constitution itself. They mark different sections for these arms of government. Section 4, 5, and 6. Section 4, which is for the legislature. Section 5 for the executive. And Section 6 of the Constitution for the judiciary. Well, the executive is supposed to, the legislature will make the law, the executive will execute it, while the judiciary will interpret the law. That's in the simple logic. And democracy itself, you see, is brought from the Greek words demos and kratos. Demos, the people, and kratos, the rule. So it's actually the rule of the people. Now, when you say that executive clamps on the other arms of government, I begin to wonder how. You see, there are different roles are enshrined in the Constitution. An example is this. The CJN of the country is being appointed by the president and approved
by the National Assembly.
But the NJC must first recommend that person to the president for appointment, then the Senate will now approve. Now, after the moment is being sworn in, that link cuts.
The link between who and who?
The person that appointed him now.
Or the link should. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. So what the Constitution says is, yes, by the recommendation of the NJC,
yes, the
president, because the president would still need to consult the NJC.
No, the NJC will simply nominate.
That's what I'm saying. So the president cannot single-handedly nominate somebody,
the NJC
and the NJC should be the person, the body,
yes,
because they know that lawyer very well, and they know that this person is qualified. I'm just trying to, again, expatiate for you so that you can expatiate based on the question I interjected with.
Yeah.
So once this individual has been, given a pass mark by the National Assembly, it is expected that this individual is now detached from the two other arms of government, even though they were part of the arm that brought this person into power.
Yes.
Is that what really is on ground at the moment?
Good. I will tell you that the mistake most people make is the belief that, if the NJC has nominated me and the president, who is playing his constitutional role, has appointed me, sent me to the Senate for approval. Okay? You don't think that I owe you, the person. That's the mistake we're making. I don't owe, as CGN being appointed by the president, approved by the Senate, I don't owe the president any other thing but the Constitution. any other obligation but the constitution. Because if it continues like this, we'll be by ourselves rubbishing the constitution. Because the constitution, which is the ground, has given us different roles.
Right.
So if, for instance, now and the NJC starts, the CJN starts misbehaving, the NJC can call him to order.
So, Mr. Abudu, from what you've just painted now, because I know that you would want to defend your constituency really well, because the CJN, of course, belongs to your constituency. Now, do you think that with what we have on ground at the moment and the way Nigeria's democracy is being practiced, the CJN can actually look at the executive arm of government and say you have done wrong?
Yes.
And it will pass, and it will lie like that?
Yes, because he has not done you any favor by appointing you the CJN. You're qualified, except if you're not qualified. So if he has appointed you now, you'll be based on the recommendation of the NJC, okay, and the CJN that approved you. At that point, I don't owe you any obligation but the constitution itself. Okay. If you continue to do that,
Barrister Abudu,
we'll move forward.
Wait until you're on that seat for you to say what you're saying, because we have seen instances in this country. Time it was in this country when Malami was he was a minister. But Mr. President can decide to pick out of those recommended by the NJC.
Yes.
That's on one side. Are you saying that one arm of government is not superior to the other? Have you seen what is playing out in the National Assembly lately?
Now, you see, let me, take a step backwards with the question you mentioned for each of the examples. You see, what do you call now? This Thomas Jefferson said, power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That is why the principle of separation of powers, were being, being brought by the likes of Montesquieu.
In the book.
No.
Textbook recommendation.
If you keep saying in the book, and people, if
I'm just referring to what is realistic in Nigeria.
If I made the CJN, for instance, and the moment you swear me in as CJN, no obligation but the constitution, because you even be sworn in by the constitution itself that you owe the allegiance to the constitution. Okay. So until you start doing it right, okay, we're not practicing it. You understand? That is the law backs you.
Let me ride on Abimbola's question. She put a question to you earlier.
Yes.
But what we have on ground in Nigeria, you are saying that should be the ideal thing. Is that what we have on ground now?
I believe that is what we have on ground.
You believe?
You believe.
Okay. Yes, that's what we have on ground. The reason being that if you say maybe the NJC the CJN that has been appointed, for instance, is misbehaving, what is the NJC doing?
To discipline.
That's it now. You don't because the say for instance now, a judge in Lagos State will be sworn in by the governor. A judge in Lagos State. Okay, after being sworn in by the governor, for instance, the governor cannot remove the judge again.
But can the governor recommend the sack of the...
He cannot. Only if you write the petition...
But it can go through the NJS, the executive.
In Lagos State, is the NJS.
Mr. Abudu,
yes.
I'm not going to say states now, because we know that we have all the arms of government in all the states and the federal. So I'm going to use the executive, because again, the Constitution actually puts it that way. Principle of separation of powers, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. So coming back to these three arms of government, and based on where that question earlier on, it is the executive that, after the recommendation of the NGC, will put a name forward. And if at the end of the day, the executive is somewhat not satisfied with the conduct of the CJN, as rightly put, can the executive go back to the CJN to recommend the removal, the sack, or the termination of the appointment of the CJN, or can that CJN even be made to resign? Still talking about the principle of separation of powers. Coming back to what you said, that the executive has no powers to take out the judicial arm of government, but can they go through the CJN through the same means by which this person was appointed?
You see, Section 231 of the Constitution, 231(1) of the Constitution, has talked about how that person, the CGN, will be appointed. Now, in judiciary, which is my constituency, we have the NJC, which is the body that disciplines, that appoints, that, erring judges or erring judicial officers.
Is the CGN out of the discipline if the CGN, while in office, commits any infraction? Can the CGN be disciplined?
The CGN can be disciplined by the NJC.
That's what I'm saying, by the NJC.
The National Judicial Council.
I understand you perfectly. So I'm asking here, can the executive interfere through the CGN? Because again, we're just trying to clear the air on what you said. Talking about the separation of powers and the fact that the executive cannot influence the removal of a chief judge. But can that be done through the NJC?
Now, you can see that they all have their different powers.
Mr. Abudu, can the executive influence?
They cannot, because they're not part of the NJC body.
The NJC itself.
NJC, they cannot be. They're not part of it, except that there's a particular section of the Constitution itself which says that the CGN heads the NJC.
Okay. It's fine. You're not particularly getting that angle of the question.
Absolutely.
I think we can move away from there so that we don't spend too much time.
They can influence.
Can the executive influence the NJC for the removal of the CGN?
Then the NJC will look at it. If it is via petition, for instance, the NJC is supposed to look at the petition because there might be a petition against that person.
So it is possible.
It is possible.
That's fine. Absolutely.
It is possible based on if the allegations contained in the petition.
I think you've answered my question, so that's fine. You've just answered the question, which is the fact that the executive, whether by petition or not, can influence the removal of a CGN.
That's what I'm saying, that there will be a petition wherein the offences of that person will be stated.
You've answered the question, Mr. Abudu.
Even you can influence the removal of the judge.
Mr. Abudu, you've answered my question.
So
let's
enough
move
of your
on.
constituency, and let's look at the other arm of government now, which is the legislative arm. We have seen speakers of states, houses of assemblies, doing the bidding of governors, and of course, even the current National Assembly. There is nothing that will be taken there by Mr. President that will not be approved. We have seen it played out. So, paint me that picture of independence on that side of that arm of government, the legislative arm, being independent of the executive.
You see, ordinarily, the executive will try. Most times they do.
Mr. Abudu, are you in Nigeria?
Well, I'm talking about...
Have you seen what governors do with their speakers?
Mr. Abudu,
and if you're not doing their bidding, they'll get you removed.
You see, listen, let me tell you something. There are procedures upcoming. There are procedures with which you say you want to impeach the governor.
Not the governor, the speaker.
The speaker. Speaker, House of Reps, speaker, there are procedures. Okay? Which they'll say, okay, they're removing this person. And the procedure lies on the interpretation of the court itself, of the law, who interprets the law for them. They might not know how to. They might not know what they're doing is wrong or right.
Sometimes we treat the law in this country. True, you lawyers.
I don't know how you treat the law because we know the law more than ourselves.
Okay.
You understand? Maybe that's what you mean by twisting.
So is the legislative arm independent of the executive from the pictures that we have on ground in this country?
Well, if you say that we see it or presumed that it's happening in the legislature, that means the legislature itself now are shirking their responsibilities to the people. Because we're in democracy. I define democracy at the beginning that it's the rule of the people.
Okay, Mr. Abudu, based on...
Demos and Kratos.
Okay.
That's democracy.
The textbook definition of what democracy is. I mean, we're just trying to be practical here and see what is happening here. Still riding on Ajibola's question, talking about separation of powers. We know that, of course, our Quran or our Bible in Nigeria is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the guide of how things are done.
The ground norm.
Yes, and you've also alluded to the fact here that there are places in the Constitution which expressly read out or expressly stated the roles and the functions of these three arms of government. But then, how, again, in simplifying Ajibola's question earlier, looking at, as much as there's separation of power, we know that these three arms of government cannot work without one another. They still have to depend on one another to function. So what are the influences, or what are the areas by which one arm of government is dependent on the other to succeed in a democracy like ours?
Okay. You see, like we have separation of powers, which it brings about checks and balances,
right?
Checks and balances, it checks tyranny through, and brings about good performance in governance.
Right.
Those are the things that the separation of powers brings. Okay, how they check the three arms of government, because like I said, you see, they all have their different functions.
Absolutely.
The executive, for instance, they'll be the one that will, appropriation. They'll be the one that will, release the budget. To different arms of government. They tend to want to trample on the other arms of government. Okay, but if these other arms of government know their onions, their rules are backed by the constitution, but it is there. And anybody that goes, any law, behavior that goes contrary to the constitution, okay, will be ultra-vires. It's good to null and void. So it is when you're going beyond the boundary as stipulated in the constitution. They are meant to be, called to order.
Okay.
You understand? So it is when you that is supposed to call that person to order, for instance. If you don't do it, you're the one that is shirking your responsibility. I might enter here and I want to muscle everybody. I want to bamboozle everybody. If you allow me, I'll go on.
Okay.
But if you say, hello, there are rules here. There are rules here. To come in here, yes, you're right. But to start bamboozling anybody here, no, you're going beyond what you're going to be.
Okay, let's talk about financial autonomy for some of these arms of government. We know that the executive has the carrots. So why wouldn't you dance? Is that not the reality?
They're only doing their function.
I know, but the executive is using that advantage to oppress some other arms of government. And that's why, as a speaker, you must do the bidding of your governor. Yes or no?
If you say doing bidding now, if what you're meant to do,
whatever it is brought before you, whether it is right or wrong, you have to. The house must approve.
Then they are shirking in their responsibility. It's happening, yes. It's happening, yes.
That's what I want to hear from you.
But when it happens like that, that means the people that you're betraying the trust that the people are reposing you when you're being voted in.
But how would they function without money, which is coming from the executive?
They can now, if you're supposed to release money for me, okay, going by the provisions of the law, and you're not, I'm not the judiciary. That's why they're there, which is the court. Which will now ask you to do that thing.
Is that judiciary independent, financially independent as well?
They are supposed to be.
Okay.
You are answering our. I love the way you're answering our. Unconsciously, you are giving us answers.
He's a politician. So it has to marry both here today, being a lawyer and a politician.
Do you understand? If you are supposed to release money for me now to run this place, I'm supposed to run this place, for instance, and your duty is to release money for me to run this place. Okay, and you refuse to, because maybe I took your girlfriend, or maybe, and you refuse to release money for me. I'll run to the judiciary here. Please compel this man to release money for us to run this place. Otherwise, this place will be grounded.
Okay.
And you're bound to do it, because if you don't do it, then that will be content of court.
Of court. All right.
So that's why you have three arms of government: checks and balances, tyranny to be removed. Okay, those are duties of superior powers. So I don't know why they will say that the executive is trampling on the legislature, they're trampling on they are independent. They're supposed to be independent.
Okay.
They're supposed to be
They
independent.
should be independent. That is what the Constitution says.
Yes.
But again, in reality, there could also be some form of one animal higher than another animal in this particular situation. But as it stands, and we're looking at Nigeria's democracy and the current happenings as we speak, let's again come back to the National Assembly, because a lot of people at the moment think that this particular National Assembly is deferring so much to the executive that it doesn't feel like the executive can do any harm or can do any wrong before this particular legislature. And so there probably will not be any need for them to run to the judiciary to save them from any untoward act here. But in your own opinion, as a lawyer, as a political analyst, who again sees what's going on in the system, in the polity, how do you think the principle of checks and balances and separation of powers can help the legislature to put the executive on their toes without necessarily, throwing away their bills, throwing away their approaches before the lawmakers, but ensuring that they do right by Nigerians?
You see, the legislature, which is the two chambers now.
Yeah, the National Assembly.
National Assembly, the Senate and the Rep. They are in charge of lawmaking. All right? They are in charge of their constitutional duties. It's enormous, it's much. All right? Now, what is happening that people are seeing, actually, is that the National Assembly is beginning to look like a rubber stamp. All right? Which shouldn't be so. Because by so doing, it means you're simply there for yourself. I've had instances where they say that if you don't bring money to support a particular bill, who they will share, they will not look into that bill. Meanwhile, if that bill is meant for good governance in the interest of the people, and you're saying not pushing because there's no Ghana must go, bad. And because in this climb, they unpick people for different positions.
Where? At the National Assembly?
Yes, even during the elections, this is who we want. Except this time around, it looks as if, they're saying go to primaries. I mean,
primaries.
Primaries, go to primaries and go and slug it out. Unlike before, they said that we have consensus. Our consensus, in my own definition, from the way I'm saying it, is like imposition. And truly, if somebody has imposed me on somebody on the people, and I get to the National House of Assembly, I will probably want to tend to start listening to who imposed me on the people. But it is wrong.
It is wrong?
Well, it is wrong.
It is happening.
As I'm saying, we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Okay? But it is wrong. But this time around, they said, okay, let people go to primaries, and even though we know what happens in some primaries and all that, but at least people still, lined up.
All right.
People.
Earlier, you did say that.
I don't know if I'm. I don't know if I'm answering your question, people.
Earlier, you said that the functions of these arms of government, they are boldly written in the Constitution. So,
yes.
What do you make of situations that we have seen happened in the Senate of this 10th Assembly, wherein appointees of Mr. President or ministerial nominees will come and they will just take a bow and go. And when others want to question them, they will say no. Because in democracy, majority will always have their way, minority will have their say. So all these take a bow stands of the National Assembly that we have seen, and the applications for loan before the National Assembly not being questioned, just approval straight. Does that portray that this 10th National Assembly is indeed independent, and of course functioning like it was written in the 1999 Constitution that you alluded to.
Okay. You see, what you're saying now is in two phases.
Okay.
One, the issue of bow and go. Let me explain it. If, for instance, this is the Senate, and I've once been a senator of the National Assembly, but now I've been sent in here
As a minister
for your approval. Okay? It's like saying esprit de corps. If I come in there, oh, it was one of what it was in the chambers. We don't need to further screen you. Please go. It is their prerogative.
So what about those that were never a member of the Senate?
They will be screened. That's what they've passed it to. You see, they have appointed them. The president has appointed them. Go to the Senate for approval. We saw what happened to El-Rufai.
It was politics.
And I
know. You are a politician.
I'm just telling you that.
I know.
I'm just telling you that it played out there. The president deemed it fit to be a minister. He has appointed him. And said, go for screening. And the Senate did not deem it fit to be a minister of the Federal Republic. It was rejected.
Okay.
And the president could not question them.
Okay.
Mr. Abudu, indeed, you are a politician.
A politician?
Yeah.
Let me come back to your constituency here, because again, we do know that that also is an arm of government, talking about the judiciary. And I'm glad that at the end of the day, earlier you agreed that truly there could be an interference from all other arms of government, talking about the two major arms of government. But tell me here, Mr. Abudu.
Two major or three major, you mean?
Two. Aside the judiciary, talking about the executive and the legislature. The judiciary is the third.
Yes.
Please walk me through this here. What are some of the dangers that you perceive, right, that continued interference in the judiciary may cause on Nigeria's democracy?
If interference continues, it will ruin the beauty of democracy in the country.
How?
An example is this. If I'm saying that this judge, for instance, sorry, I'm using that area. If this judge, for instance, who has been nominated, who has been given up by the NJC, nominated by the NJC, the
president
has appointed the person, okay, and he now thinks, the president who is executive, now thinks that the person should continue to do his bid.
Right.
You're spoiling the country.
Okay.
You're spoiling the beauty of the constitution. By extension, you're spoiling the beauty of democracy.
Okay.
I will not subscribe to that. Because if you're saying we want to move on, don't forget the fact that we borrowed even this principle from there, America and other countries that practice democracy. If we want to do it properly, we should not continue to lure ourselves over because you're the... You see, it's only the executive now are the people who will say that, oh, in code, lucky to have the head of the country in their arm.
Okay.
But it does not give them the rights to say they want to lure themselves over the other two arms of government. We're not doing it will not be proper.
Okay.
And it will spoil the beauty of democracy.
Right.
If we don't continue to do it the way we should do it, we will continue to miss it.
Okay.
So the earlier we wake up and forget the fact that, oh, you appointed me, I should now start coming to cook rice in your kitchen. No, it shouldn't be.
Is it only the executive that could probably have interference on the judiciary? Is the legislature exempted?
I'm saying that the legislature might want to.
Okay.
But if you know that if you as a person who is the member of the judiciary, you stand your feet, your grounds.
Right.
Because under the senator, Okay, nor the governor or the president can remove you as the judge there. But the NJC.
Can we ever get to a time where an appointee, maybe the chief judge of the state or the Federal Republic of Nigeria, can resign if you feel that this interference is too much and I do not want to get involved? Are we ever going to get to that level where people can actually sacrifice their career for their names?
We've seen it happen before.
When?
And it can happen.
When did it happen? Give us an example.
It happened in Ogun State, for instance.
Okay.
In the era of, I think, Ibekule Amusu.
Okay.
The Attorney General.
Right.
Forgotten Ogunde.
Okay.
Ogunde.
Okay.
Resigned.
Right. Mm.
Because his influence, his allegations then was that his influence, because that influence on him
was too much.
Was overbearing.
Okay.
And he couldn't continue.
Right.
Because he feels that he's an honorable man. He resigned.
Right.
He didn't say that because this person appointed me, I should. We have honorable men there.
Mm.
They're locked in corners, but they're there.
Right.
Okay, but will they be appointed? Will they be appointed? Because if you know that you are straight, okay, you will appoint anybody who you believe is straight.
Okay.
So that there will be proper checks and balances.
Absolutely.
You understand? So that has happened before, and it will continue to happen if you know you're someone that has a name
To protect.
To protect.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so
For instance, I will not rubbish my own name, which I've built over the years, for a piece of carrot.
So if you were appointed today and you feel also that interference is too much, would you throw in the towel?
I can, yes.
You can.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Abudu.
That's the honorable thing to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Abudu, I do hope you will get there, and we will hold you. We will hold you.
Possibly, yes.
We will hold you.
All right. So how critical is the role of the judiciary in ensuring that these arms of government function effectively independent of each other in strengthening our democracy?
You see, to a large extent, the judiciary, which is the last hope of the common man. I'm not saying that there are no bad eggs in there, but they are doing what they should do to a very large extent. You understand? Because the moment the judiciary is being allowed to be clammed upon, to be trampled upon, okay, the country will be in a mess. The country will be in a mess because the simple and secondary duties of the three arms, for instance, the legislature will make the law, the executive will execute it. If not properly executed, the judiciary will not interpret that law for them to know what the position is.
But sometimes the kind of interpretations that we have seen from the judiciary is funny sometimes. And we see lawyers taking cases wherein you already know that this case is not right. And lawyer A will be saying this, and the other one will be saying that.
Okay, you see, have you seen how a lawyer has been disciplined before? Have you heard about it? Have you seen it? I've seen. That's why we have the disciplinary body in the NBA, the disciplinary committee. If you even file a process that you're not supposed to file in that court, okay, that judges have slammed court against the lawyer himself, not even the client now, not even their own client, against the lawyer himself.
For wasting the precious
Why
time
would
of the
you
court.
file this kind of process? I've seen some SANs derobed from the rank of SAN. I've seen some lawyers removed from the role. That's why we have disparate bodies. Okay, in each body you have a different part of that body. So if everybody should do what they are supposed to do, given the role and power that have been given by the law, we won't find ourselves in any mess.
So we're in a mess.
I'm not saying we're in a mess.
Mr. Abudu, let's end on this note. Since we are also looking at Nigeria's democracy here vis-a-vis the principle.
Even though we have rot in the society.
In the system, okay.
We have it.
Including the judiciary.
We won't deny that. I've just told you that in everybody we have bad eggs.
Okay. Mr. Abudu, let's look at...
But the moment you're caught, you're found,
I'm okay.
and you're sent to the NJC for discipline, they will discipline you. And do you know that the worst thing that can happen to anybody? Say, for instance, a lawyer who have over the years, you've gone to school for years, you've gone to law school, you've been practicing, and you now engage in
sharp practices.
Do you understand? Just for the disciplinary committee of the NBA, and you're being stripped of that your position.
Is that
you will never practice again in your life? That's
so
there's a punishment like that.
What you've just raised
some they
now,
give 3 years, some they give depending on the gravity of the offense.
Mr. Abudu,
yes.
What you've just raised now, 2 questions I'm going to ask you and then we'll let you go. What you've just raised now, so now you've said that lawyers get disciplined.
Yes.
Is that a deterrent? I mean, if people won't learn from getting derobed or getting, punished by your professional body, then what exactly are we talking about? That's one. Then 2, I was going to
end, with that question, sorry.
I said, if people get punished for bad behavior, why do people still get engaged in bad behaviors? Is it that that deterrent is not weighty enough for people not to engage in bad behaviors? That's one. Then 2, looking at Nigeria's democracy, are we inching towards building stronger institutions or building stronger personalities?
The first leg of the question.
Right.
I'll come in by way of question, okay, in answering your question. The fact that armed robbers, when convicted, even during the military then, they are being shot or convicted. They're being convicted and maybe shot, firearms tribunal and all that. We'll still continue to have armed robbers. There are some lawyers that are being derobed for misbehaviors.
Right.
For doing things that are unethical of the profession. So some might think who probably do not have good training from home. It comes to play. I who believe that they want to, cut the corners to get to the top. Yeah. I won't be caught. That's their belief.
Okay.
If they are caught, they will be disciplined.
All right, let's go to the second question and then we'll wrap up.
The second question?
Right, building stronger institutions or stronger politicians, personalities, Nigeria's democracy.
You see, I was expecting to say building stronger nation.
Well, stronger institutions will make a nation.
Stronger institution.
Absolutely.
I thought probably you said stronger politician.
I asked.
Stronger institution. Yes, because if the institutions are stronger, we're working towards the institution to be stronger, we'll have a better nation.
Okay.
But some people are head-bent on continue to do what they are doing because of their own selfish interests.
Okay. It will be a fine place to leave this conversation this morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Kehinde Abudu, lawyer and political affairs analyst, for finding time to share your thoughts with us on the program today. We appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you, Abimbola.
We'll take a quick break. When the conversation returns, Joy will be here with her Lagos conversation.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.